Okay. So Jenkins CICD pipeline. Okay. So I think previously we used one Java application, right? So today we will change the application, I mean the language. So you can go with the Node.js. Okay. So we have some application, raw application code in the repo for the, I mean, that based on Node.js application. Okay. So the application is our repo, GitHub, and we will set up Jenkins for the CI/CD. Then mm, we need to execute some commands, okay, for the Node.js application. Like we use npm tool, okay, npm. That's a manual way we did for executing or starting the Node.js server in locally, I mean local machine. So coming to automation, we need to define the same command inside the Groovy script. Okay, so the similar like for Java, we used Maven clean, right, or Maven install, Maven compile, Maven test. So similar way coming to Node.js application, we need to run npm install. So whenever we type npm install, there is some dependencies there, okay, for the same application repository. Some dependencies are there. For the Java application, the dependency file name is pom.xml, right? Pom.xml. So inside the pom.xml, the developers define the dependency for the specific application. Then coming to Node.js application, similar way, they will, I mean, that developer created one file, okay, the name is package.json. So inside the package.json, they defined the specific dependency for the application. So at time npm install, that npm is a similar like build tool, okay, not build tool actually, it's a service to execute that Node.js application on specific server. Okay, at the time npm install, it will looking for the package.json on the same directory and download the dependency. So that's a process for Node.js application. So we need to mention that in the Groovy script, or else we can define the same command inside the Docker file also. Okay, both are fine. For this pipeline, I will include the npm install on the Groovy script. Then the rest of thing is same for the similar pipeline. I mean that Java pipeline. So I exploded the SonarQube part. Okay, SonarQube. So I don't integrate SonarQube with this pipeline. Then other things that we can do, like after npm, we will build the application, okay, using Docker files. Some Docker files are in the same repo, Docker file. So we can use Docker to build the Docker image from the Docker file and push that image to Docker Hub. Then we need to set up the Kubernetes. After the build process, we check that image using try, okay, try we scan. Then finally, we deploy the application to Kubernetes. So we need to set up the Kubernetes and integrate Kubernetes with the Jenkins. So that's the main part that I will show today. Okay. So this is our overview of our pipeline. Okay. So we need to do all things from scratch. So we can jump into the lab, right?
Is there a reason why did you exclude SonarQube static code analysis?
Hmm. For static code analysis, we need to add one stage. That's all, and we need to set up the what like SonarQube and installation there. But it will take too much time, right? So that's why I explored that.
Okay.
So I will go to 22.4. Okay, the previous version of Ubuntu. And we can select T2 medium or large. I will go with T2 large. Also change that add size. Okay, I mean the storage for the same server, 80 to 25. So first time installing Java. So now I'm installing Jenkins. Okay. So meantime, I will open some ports. Eight eighty. Okay. Jenkins is up and running. So we can access Jenkins. Okay. Also copy the initial admin password. Okay. So we can see under the logs. Copy. Meantime, I will install some dependency for the same pipeline. Okay. The try-v and rest of thing. Docker. For try-v, this is our command for installing try-v. It will take some application packages. Okay. From the specified directory and install try-v. Okay, Jenkins is up and ready. Also here we install Drivey. Now one more thing we need to install, that is Docker. So here I will first run that apt get update. So it will update the package manager. Then the second command for install Docker. Then the third one for we are going to add the Ubuntu user. Okay, so there is a Ubuntu user for the switching machine, right? So we need to add the Ubuntu user under the group Docker. Okay, so there is a Docker group there. So we need to add the user to the group. Also, I added Jenkins. So whenever we install Jenkins on the same machine, there will be a Jenkins user account created. Okay. So both user account be added on the Docker group, and finally we provide the necessary permission to the docker.source. So the both user, okay, Ubuntu and Jenkins user can execute Docker commands without sudo. So that's a so I'm switching to the Docker. Now I'm running sorry, first I need to switch to sudo Ubuntu Docker PS. Yeah. See, now the user can run Docker command without sudo. Same way I'm switching to Jenkins user. If we provide the same privilege to Jenkins user, that Jenkins, okay, the specific Jenkins application can interact with the Docker without sudo. Like whenever we mentioned that Docker commands, right? Docker build or Docker push. So all these commands can perform the Jenkins or the Jenkins user. Sudo Jenkins Docker PS. Yeah. See, no issue. Exit. So that's all from machine side. Now we need to go to the Jenkins and install the dependencies and configure. I mean the plugins. So I told you this is a Node.js application, so we need to install the Node.js plugin. So first I am going with the JDK. JDK selected. Now Node.js. Okay, Node.js. See, this is a plugin. Enable and install. Also, I will go with the Docker because we need to interact with the Docker, Kubernetes, and all with this pipeline. That five is enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Then pipeline, build stage. We explore as SonarQube, so we did not configure that. Hmm, I think we can include that, right? SonarQube. I will add the SonarQube part also. Okay. So I am installing SonarQube. In the meantime, I'm adding in SonarQube. Sonar Cube Scanner. So that's all. So I'm going to install. Yeah, admin. Okay, all the plugins has been successfully installed. Now we need to install one more thing. I missed Kubernetes. Okay, so go to the plugins once again and type Kubernetes here. So coming to Kubernetes, we need to select Kubernetes Client API, credentials, CLI, and credential provider. That's all. 5 things installed. So for the SonarCube integration, first we need to create the token. Okay, it's generate copy. Okay, see Kubernetes plugin installation has been completed. Now we need to go back to manage Jenkins and go to the security. Under the system global add credential, secret text, provide the token under the text and type Docker ID. So I will go with the Docker hub. Okay. So same ID we need to define under the Groovy. Then for the Docker hub also I'm adding here. Okay. Docker hub. Docker hub authentication token.
You copied SonarCube security and you have pasted that in Docker.
SonarCube.
You have generated the token for the SonarCube, right? And you have pasted that in the
Oh,
Jenkins.
Changing and deleting that one. The name is changed, right? So, okay.
Just the name change.
Secret test. SonarCube. Save. Creating a personal access token instead of providing password. So generate new token. Provide read write delete. Generate. Copy the token. We can go with the SonarCube. I mean username and password. Then provide the username. For the password, we need to provide the the token that we created. Okay. Docker Hub. ID Docker Hub and description also we can provide same. Save. So both credentials have been completed. Have been completed. Now, done. The next thing is we need to configure the tools, right? We didn't configure the tools as well. So after installing plugins, right? So we need to go to the tools. Before that, I will show the pipeline. Okay. So this is a pipeline. So here we can see it's starting with the tools agent any. Then the tools that we define for the same pipeline is JDK and Node.js. So Node.js we define like this. Okay. And then tools, then environment setup for the SonarQube. Then coming to the stages, first a clean workspace, then check out the code from the repository. Then one stage for the SonarQube analyzing. After everything is good, we open the gate for the next stage. Otherwise, the pipeline will break. Okay, the SonarQube gate will closed, and the pipeline will fail, not going to the next stage. If everything good, and that means that application is good, then we can go with the next stage. Then here we can see install dependency using npm install. This is a command. Okay, npm install. So whenever at the stage npm install, what will happen? That npm looking for the dependency. I will show that application. So this is the application repository, okay, that we are going to use. So this is a file package.json where the developers defined dependencies. So these are the dependencies, and when we type npm install, that npm tool will looking for the dependency file on the same directory and install the specific dependency for the application. After that, we use Drivey for the file system scanning. Okay, we can use Drivey for file system scanning as well. File system scanning means it will scanning the entire directory files and file system. Okay, so if any vulnerabilities or anything there, you can see the result as well. So this is a command to install file system. Drivey space fs space dot. Then it will write the output drivey.fs text file. Then we will go with the Docker part, Docker build, Docker tag, and Docker push. Then again, we use Drivey for the image scan. Okay, here you can see we are building a Docker image, use the name Docker clone, so it's a good clone. Then after we tagging the build image, okay. So this is a tagging commands, Docker tag. Then we need to define the build image, that's the same image we mentioned above. Then we are going to tagging the same image using Docker Hub username. Okay, this is a way we the format Docker Hub username, then the image name and version. This will be the tagged version. After the tag, we can see two image. One is the previous one and the tag version as well. We push the tagged version only. Okay, so we need to push the tagged images. So we need to define the same. After we need to scan the tagged image using Drivey image scan. So the command is Drivey image, not Drivey Drivey image, then the image name. Then finally we deploy our application to Kubernetes. So this is a command. So this is a stage for Kubernetes. And under the step, we need to define the script. These are the script, right? So here one more thing, you can see dir Kubernetes. That is a directory, okay? Because you can see this is our repository, and inside the repository, where actually the Kubernetes manifest belong. It's under a directory, right? This is a folder. So folder means directory. So inside the folder Kubernetes, the Kubernetes YAML manifest belong. So that's why we need to define the directory. Okay. So we need to define the directory name as well. So Jenkins looking for the same repository. We already cloned the repository, right? Including the manifest a folder. Okay. So entire thing cloned. So the Jenkins looking for the directory Kubernetes and execute the command. kubectl delete all port, kubectl apply deployment file, and service.yaml. So both file executed, and I will show the manifest as well. Okay, the deployment file. See. So coming to the deployment part, this is the image that we used, okay, for our application. So here you can see that we mentioned latest. So whenever the each build, there is a new Docker file created, right? So I mean Docker image. So at the same time, this YAML file looking for the latest image only, okay? So we can ensure that each time each build happen, we can see the latest or the latest version of the application in production. Service YAML, same, it's still load set up for the load balancer, and the port number, container port number 3000 for the node application. The default port number is 3000. Okay. So coming to the tool configuration, we need to configure the tools. JDK, the name is 70. Meantime, we need to set up the Kubernetes, right? I'm going to install. We need to first install the dependency, right? This is for the kubectl. So kubectl install, see the versions, client version and customized version. Now we need to install AWS CLI. And EKZK. It takes some time. Okay. Meantime, we can configure JDK configuration completed. Now Sonar Cube. That's fine. Node.js, Node 16. Any name we can provide. Okay. For Node.js, it's fine. It will download from Node.js organization, and we can go with the latest, no issue. And Docker. I'll go with the latest. Okay, for the Docker also. Compliance save.
Did we provide for Git?
No need. So I'm going to install EKCTL. It's completed. Now we can directly execute that Kubernetes creation command. So this is a command. So I'm changing something like the cluster name. CICD, no, that's the cluster name. Cluster name. Also, I'm changing the region. US system one is fine. Then everything seems good. Hit enter. Anyone know why we're facing this error?
Namespace.
That specific machine does not have the permission to install
Can you paste
service.
the error in the chat?
This is the permission error. I mean the
Oh.
role. We need to install the attach the role. Go to the security. I modify M role and select the role that we created for the EKS specific permission. So for me, there is a role there, so I attach it. Now we need to execute it again. So it started. Okay. Now we can go with the SonarQube system configuration, right? So go to the system and add the SonarQube server. I'm copying. This is a part, enable environment variable and add Sonar server. Define the name. So first look for the code, okay, what name that we define.
Yay, it's my birthday!
Sure.
Papa, my birthday's not over.
And first we need to define the port number. So the name I will check, okay. For the SonarQube, we need to select the token. For the Sonar credential IDC, SonarQube token. That's fine. And for the SonarQube server, this is a server name, okay. Copy and provide it here. That's fine. What's the tool name? Now I'm going to apply and save. Next thing is we need to set up that call tickets. We take call ticket, save. That's fine. Now we need to add the webhook also, okay. Under the administration, configuration, webhook. Create, give some name and the URL like this, okay. This is a format to define the URL. This is for the webhook only, okay. So whenever that, we sending all the codes to SonarQube, right, from Jenkins and Jenkins to SonarQube. So the SonarQube will send everything back, right? I mean that the result and everything. So that's the communication between the webhook. So provide the private IP is fine because both application belongs to the same server, right? So that's fine. Now Kubernetes installation ongoing. I think everything is good. Now I'm going to start the pipeline, okay? Pipeline, okay. Apply, save. I'm trying to build now. The build failed. We'll check in the console. You can see the output, okay. Now tool sonar scanner found. This is a name, I think, for the tool. Okay, so we need to go back and go to manage engines. Go to the tools. Under the SonarQube scanner, I'm changing the name like this. apply and save. So this is a name defined in the pipeline. Build it again. So you can see the SonarQube analysis has been completed, right? We can check on that. Go back to the SonarQube and go to the project. See that application scanning has been completed and we can see the pass here. So some security hotspot there, two security hotspot there, we can see. So that's related to the Docker file. See, make sure the recursive copying directory is safe here under the Docker. Second one is Node.js image runs with the root as referred, so make sure it is safe. So that's a recommendation from SonarQube for the specific two hotspot. We can see that the rating, the A rating, E rating for the specific application. Around this much lines scanned. There is no duplication, no coverage, no code smell. So here we can see some issues raised. For the Docker part. So we need to check the logs, console output. See, for the Docker, it's permission denied. I think we configured everything, right? But sometimes we need to restart the server as well. I mean, service, okay? So better to restart the Jenkins and Docker. So after the installation of SonarQube, we will install the service, okay? And try it again. Otherwise, I think we need to connect it again. Open another window parallelly. Okay, so Jenkins restarted. Same way I'm restarting the Docker as well. Okay, now go back to the Jenkins and rebuild the application. So the permission denied issue will be solved out. Okay, I think. Admin. Anyone know why we failed in Sonar Cube analysis part? Anyone have a guess?
I think quality gates plugin is not installed.
No, whenever we restarting the Docker, okay, so the Docker container also stopped. So we used the Sonar Cube for Docker container, right? Docker PS. See, the container is not running. That means the Sonar Cube is down.
Okay.
So we need manually. Otherwise, define what? I mean, whenever the Docker service or the server where we install Docker will stop or restart it. Okay, at the same time, our container will start it. So we need to define the policies, the restart policies before. So the restart policies, we need to define the restart policies always. So the services will restart automatically. Otherwise, we need to go like this and manually restart the machine or the start the container. Docker start the container or container ID, name or ID. So now it's started. So now it's up. Okay, that's fine. Now we need to start it again. I think we can go with the Kubernetes, okay, because it's almost done. Yeah, it's ready. Yes, it's completed. kubectl get node. Okay, Kubernetes is up and running. Okay. So whenever we integrate in Kubernetes with the Jenkins, we need to provide the Kubernetes configuration file. Okay. So the Kubernetes configuration files you can see here under the logs, saved kubeconfig file as root. This directory, we can see the Kubernetes configuration file under this directory. Okay. Cat. See, so I'm catting, catting the same directory file. Okay. The file name is config. So these are the content. That details for the Kubernetes. So this is the authentication part. Okay. Authentication configuration file for the Kubernetes. So now we are going to integrate Jenkins needs to interact with the Kubernetes, right? So because Jenkins will automate that Kubernetes application deployment. We already defined everything under the stage, right? See, this is a stage. So for that, we need to provide the Kubernetes configuration file under Jenkins credentials. So we need to go to the credentials, go back, go to manage Jenkins. So I copied that, authentication config file, okay, the Kubernetes configuration file. So I will save that Kubernetes configuration file inside a text file, okay, a notepad in my local machine. So just open a text file and name like new EKS hit enter. Right. Save. So I saved, okay. Now I'm going to the credential part. Same way under the system, okay, not go to the Kubernetes. under system, add credentials. Now here we need to define the kind. Okay, kind is secret file. So here you can see secret file we need to upload. So I already saved that secret file under my machine. That name is new EKC. This is one. Select the configuration file and open. So it will upload here. Okay, file is uploaded. Yes. Now we need to define what will happen. And the idea is Kubernetes, okay, and description as well, same. That's fine. We uploaded here under as secret file. Okay, the kind as secret file. Create. So we successfully created a credential for the Kubernetes as well. Now go back, managing it. And here under the dashboard, we need to go to the project. Go to the configuration. See, this is the configuration part, okay. How that Jenkins interact with the Kubernetes. So this is the command with the kubeconfig. So here you can see the credential ID. We already created a credential ID as Kubernetes and defined here, okay. So if we don't know how to do that, we can use snippet generate, okay, pipeline syntax. Click on that. And here we can see, the scenario sample step under the sample step, we can see a lot of scenarios, okay. So our scenarios to Jenkins interact with the Kubernetes, the Kubernetes credential. So type with, and under here we can see, so this is one with the kubeconfig Kubernetes, configure Kubernetes CLI, okay. Select that one. And here we need to define the credential, okay, that we already upload. Select Kubernetes. For sourcing, we don't need to do anything. We can generate pipeline script. So it will create the script. So this is the thing that we defined there, okay. So copy the same and provide it here. Under, I already provided the same command here, okay. So I'm not going to re-edit that one. So that's fine. Save and apply. So this is the way we creating snippet, okay. So same way, for example, here in the CSC, Groovy, you can see the Docker part. So if you don't need how to define that, just go to snippet generator and define that with the Docker registry. So it will also we need to define the Docker credential and tool name. Okay, so it will create the same command, and we can put it here. Also, I think everything seems good now. I'm going to build now. See that Docker issue resolved, right? So it's starting to build. It's fine. Okay, there is no pod here. Also, the service, we can check the service. I think there is only the default service there, right? For the Kubernetes is we see. If everything goes well, we can see that Jenkins will deploy the application using that Kubernetes manifest under the directory. I mean, the GitHub directory, Kubernetes. If everything is good, I mean, the pipeline successfully completed, we integrate the CA part as well. Okay, the CA. CA means the integration with the GitHub to Jenkins. As of now, you can see there is no connection between our GitHub and Jenkins. So we manually build, right? So for example, if any code changes happening in the GitHub repository, the Jenkins can't take in the new changes because no integration or no GitHub webhook we created, okay, for the same. So we need to configure that as well. So after that only, that Jenkins will monitoring that GitHub repository, and if any code changes happen on the GitHub repository, it will automatically start to build and do the rest of the stages. Okay, what are the stages that we find here? The Docker build taking some time, okay, because that is belongs to the application complexity. I mean, for this specific application, I have a lot of build process. That's why it's taking too much time. Yeah, you can see that application successfully built. Now we can check that as well. See, first is created Docker image, right? So the same name. Then tagged. This is a tagged version. Now it's scanning the build image, okay, using Privy. Yes, now it's deployment started. You can see the logs. Yeah, it's completed, right? Yeah, everything is completed. So I'm going back and check the node, okay? Yeah, see, that's application container starting, container creating, okay? So that's the first stage. The service also is created a service for the same application, and it's defined as the type as load balancer. Also, we can see the load balancer DNS. Copy to access the application, okay? It take them some time because the container is under creation, okay? We need to check it again. Yeah, now it's the both are up. Status is running one by one. So this is a way we integrating Kubernetes with Jenkins. Okay. So now you can see the all the process that we define the Groovy that automated by Jenkins. Also coming to the Docker hub, we can see the latest push. Go back my profile. See, 3 minutes ago updated. This is the image that pushed from our local machine to Docker Hub. Now, yes, we need to access the application. See, the application is up and running. This is a clone version of Swiggy, okay? So we need to go to the repository and create a integration with the repo with the Kubernetes, sorry, Jenkins, okay? For that, first we need to go to the Jenkins and go to the configuration. And here we need to configure something, okay? See, we need to enable the GitHub project, click on that and provide the project name here. So go back to the project, copy this is the project URL, okay? So copy and provide it here. Now the trigger, okay, trigger mechanism. So we need to trigger the GitHub hook. The GitHub hook trigger for GitHub same polling. So enable that and apply and save. We know, right, why we select the GitHub hook trigger. So whenever the changes happen in the repository, that trigger happen and Jenkins build the process again. Now we need to so in this case, I'm not using my GitHub account, okay? So this is unknown account. So we need to, okay, I'll share my screen. Okay. One more screen. So go to security, okay, and go to the book. And here actually there is one existing book there. Just get up. We need to authenticate. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, here we need to define the Jenkins IP. That is 44. This is Jenkins IP, okay. 212 or the server where we installing Jenkins 212.51.35. That's fine. Update the book. Go back again. Here we need to see a tick mark, okay. Reload it again. Going to delete, okay, and create one more. Add the book. Under the payload URL, we need to define the same Jenkins IP with the GitHub dash webhook. See, now it's fine. And now the integration part is done, okay, the webhook part. Now back to the code and we need to edit something, okay. I'm going to edit something under components. So here you can see what is your on your mind tomorrow, okay? So that's some content inside our website. So I'm going to change that part. So using editing option, and change it. Change it today, okay? And I'm going to commit. Before committing, I will show my application status. Okay, from this machine. Okay. This is the current version. See, so this part actually we change, okay, from today to tomorrow. So I'm committing for my another mission. So I'm committed. So whenever I committed, you can see the latest version is 4, right? The build. So one is now in queue. See, the fifth one is queue and started. So this is happening from our triggering mechanism. Okay, this started. You can see also here one commit happened. See, that is on that update on offer banner, offer ban.js file. Okay, so we can see the change as well. Click on the change, you can see what changes happening on the same directory, and we can check who started this build. Okay, click on the fifth build. See, started this pipeline started by GitHub push by the user, my username. Okay, I mean you GitHub username. So coming to real world scenario, we have a lot of developers there, right? They are using GitHub. So we can see who will commit, like here, the logs will be fetched here. Okay. So we can see the developer name here. As of now, our application is running on the previous version. Okay. So in real world scenario, in this case, we just edited some file, right? So in real world scenario, they will update something like, for example, they will adding some new feature or like any bug issues, they're fixing any bug issues like that. So if anything they completed on the development side after commit, then it will fetch. I mean, the same will be deployed in the production. Okay, that's why we're creating the CICD pipeline, right? So the Docker building and pushing in progress. As of now, we can see that existing application. I mean, the first application that's running here. It's no issue for that. See, the application is running. The Docker part completed, now the scanning process started. After that, it will deploy the application to Kubernetes. So we can see the latest application here. Okay, now we can see it's starting to build. Yeah, complete. Now I'm going to reload the page. Okay, it will take some time because the container needs to up and running. See, one is up and running. I think now it's loading the new application. Yep. See, what's on your mind today? So that's a new version or the newly updated content. Got it. So the integration part also completed. That means any code change happening in the GitHub repository, the Jenkins will automatically taking the new code and deploy to Kubernetes. Got it. All of you. You don't have any doubt? All good, right? All of you.
Yes.
There is no doubt. Yeah. We can find up, right? I think the time is too late there, right? So I will post that lab for the same, okay, with the resources. So just to go and do it on your okay.
Yeah, he used to post it in the group.
Sure. Then
Okay.
we can wind up. All of you.
Okay. Thanks for the lesson. Have a good night, everybody. Good morning to Tawfiq sir.
Good night, all.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, Mark. Are you there? Hi, Mark. How are you?